back. This is still the newspaper review on TAF TV. We'll be taking our last newspaper for the day. We'll be looking at the Nigerian Tribune. And on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune, reps move to give legal backing to artisanal petroleum refineries. You can read that up on page 7 of the newspaper. CNG vehicles, FG inaugurate Lagos Pilot Conversion Center. And that's on page 16 of the newspaper. NLC threatens to boycott of meeting with FG. And that's on page 5 of the newspaper. Boat with over 80 passengers capsized in Taraba. And that's on page 26 of the newspaper. Supreme Court judgment, distraction over, Tinubu tells German Chancellor. And that's on page 8 of the newspaper. 2 men suffocate inside diesel tank in Kano. And you can read that story up on page 7 of the newspaper. I direct Kyari Malami to fight $15 billion payment to P&ID. That's according to the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Buhari. It's been long we saw him on our newspaper.
Or heard anything about him for that matter. But then he's coming up to speak about the P&ID situation, yeah.
Yes, we heard something about him during when the Supreme Court declared
congratulated
Tinubu's election
Tinubu.
legitimate. Okay, we heard something about him.
Well,
and that's all. He's been quiet the whole time.
Well, I wanted to say something, but let me go ahead and say it. You will not be quiet if you have something to contribute. We don't know if he has, something, because even in his administration,
he was quiet.
We don't understand. The guy was so quiet.
He was quiet.
So to the extent that we heard his wife saying, I don't know, some people have overtaken my husband's administration. They are now running it. The man was still quiet. So
there was this joke about him always coming, when anything is happening, he's coming out to say, I am shocked to hear. I am shocked.
He was always quiet. Yeah, that's our former president, Muhammadu Buhari. He has done his bit. Good to hear from him again.
To hear from him. All right, back to the news story. I would like your thoughts on the story on page 7. Rep moved to give legal backing to artisanal petroleum refineries.
Wow.
Do you think this is a good move?
It is, in fact, if they ever, bring this to light, it's a very, very wonderful. But we've heard, this is not the first time we're hearing this. That's my concern. There's always been the call for government to give licenses to these artisanal petroleum refiners so that it could actually reduce the activities of illegal miners. Because if you don't know what this is, it's the same thing as the fire refineries that explodes here and there, killing people in their numbers. Plus, of course, the attack on pipelines, vandalization and all of that, all over the south and the southeast. And if truly the reps go through with this move to actualize this, if they finally get this done, to really bring a lot of ease, and it will also increase petrol availability. I don't know about the pricing though, because whether it will go down or not. It is meant to bring down the cost of petrol, and other petroleum products that will come out of the refining, because it's not only petrol that comes out of there. There's diesel, there's gas, there's also there's crude oil and all of that. Crude oil is the main one that they will now refine to get all of those things, byproducts and all of that. But all we're saying is that if truly, government is serious about this, members of the House of Reps, they are serious about this, and they go through with the reading, and it becomes law, and they have approval given to these local refiners. And of course, the license will not be cheap. Obviously, it will not be cheap, so that it will not be accessible to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And then they have an agency. They say they want to set up an agency that will monitor the activities of these artisanal petroleum refiners. I think it will be a very wonderful move.
Don't you see it's that to increase oil bunkering?
It will not increase, rather.
I'm seeing some loops in this.
Well, it will not increase
holes.
it, but it will rather put a regulation on it. But now now it is done illegally, where people go into the forest and then trace these oil pipelines and then break them and tap from it. But now we're not saying you will tap from it. Government will actually supply your local refinery with the crude oil. They will supply you because you have the license. You buy it from them. So instead of it going, you know, these pipelines are being channeled to either Shell and the rest of them, you know, and then to our refineries. Now you will have your supply at the cost you have bought, and then you refine and sell back and then make your money. But this will be under regulation by the government, by the agencies of government. So because now if there is an explosion somewhere because probably your facility was not well put together, government knows who owns what. Government knows that there are 20 artisanal refineries out there, and they are regulated. So of course, just like the way they come to your restaurant and ensure that you have NABBED come to your restaurant and ensure that you're following with the quality assurance regulations in running your business. The same thing will be applicable to these local refineries. As far as, you know, they have been given these licenses and they are regulated, I feel it will reduce, or it will totally wipe out the story of IPOB fire in quotes, and then of course bring all of them into, you know, a proper business, legitimate business where government knows who you are, that you're doing this, and they know how to regulate and of course monitor your activities. I think it's a laudable approach by the House of Representatives.
Well, this is a good move. Let's pray it comes into law. Let's see how that plays out and how it reduces oil bunkering,
of course,
in Nigeria. All right, that's where we draw our curtains for the day. It was really a great time on the newspaper review. My name is Sophia John. I still remain your host. And of course, I didn't do this alone. I did this with Mr. Bule. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Connect and engage with us on all our social media platforms. Till we meet again tomorrow, stay safe.